Welcome to another video on English grammar. Today we are going to discuss how sentences in the direct speech can be changed into the reported speech or indirect speech. Many of you have been asking for this. I thought I would do conjunction first before I did this. But because all of you want to know this, many of you are teachers who would like to teach this to your students. Therefore, I'm doing this before I do the chapter on conjunctions. Let us first see what exactly the word direct speech implies. When a person is speaking and you give the exact words of that person, then you have to put it within inverted commas. Inverted commas are two commas at the top of the line to begin and two commas at the top of the line to end. The sentence or sentences which come in the middle of these two inverted commas are supposed to be in the direct speech. This you find in novels, short stories, etc. Because certain characters speak and the author gives you the exact speech of the character. If you read the newspaper and you find an article where some important person's words are quoted, then again you find inverted commas and you have the exact words of that person in between these inverted commas. Why do we call it inverted commas? Because you cannot start the comma and not end it. You have to have beginning and you have to have ending. Welcome to this channel, which is called Sumita Roy's English Classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, and I'm trying to give you videos on all aspects of learning English language, from beginners to intermediate and advanced level, and also some literature videos. You can learn English exactly as though you are in a real class. Those of you who want to learn online, saying that I should conduct classes online, please watch the videos. These are like online classes because I'm telling you exactly how to do the exercises. But the exercises part, the homework, is in the last 5 minutes of the video. And if you watch only the first half, you don't see the last half. You miss out the class. It's like a class is going out and you log out or you walk out of the classroom. So please don't do that. Watch the videos, like, share, comment, and of course, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Now let us come down to exactly what we are going to do today. To speak English properly, we need to be able to use the language in different forms. So when the meaning does not change, but the manner in which the sentence is used changes, that we call transformation. So one variety of transformation is when instead of giving the exact words of the speaker, you give the words in your own way. You put it in your own way. That is why we call it reported speech. Reported means somebody else is talking about what another person has said. To give a report, to report. These are all forms of the word. This reported speech is also indirect. Why we use it indirect? The reason is because it is the opposite of direct speech. And there we have to remember what are the changes that we have to make in order to have a sentence which is in direct speech to be changed into indirect. And then the way in which the reported speech sentence becomes a sentence in the direct speech. These are all the things which we are going to learn today. Now, it is possible that when you are giving the exact words of the speaker, you may have a statement, or You may have a question or you may have an exclamation. I will do types of sentences, then we will do all this. The end punctuation changes. In a statement, the punctuation is a full stop. In a question, the punctuation is a question mark. And in an exclamatory sentence, the punctuation is one long dash with a dot below it called the exclamation mark or the wonder mark. These three marks of punctuation show you what kind of sentence is there inside the inverted commas. But when you change it to reported speech, you cannot have these punctuation marks. The reported speech has only one punctuation mark, and that is the full stop. So the first thing to remember is the change in punctuation, where the inverted commas begin and where they end is the exact words of the speaker. Those exact words need to be changed into the same format as is there outside the inverted commas, and it has to end in a full stop. Whether it is a question or it is a statement or it is an exclamation, it has to be reduced to a format of the statement. These we need to learn one by one. So let us see. The next point which you have to keep in mind is that the verb outside the inverted commas and the verb inside the inverted commas might be in two different tense forms. I have done tenses in great detail. Please watch them. Many of you who are watching the videos starting today or starting yesterday have missed out all the videos which I have posted earlier. So please go to the list. We have a grammar playlist where you will find everything. We have a vocabulary playlist where you will find everything. So not only that, but look at all the 120 videos that are there and see where you want to concentrate. So those of you who want to know the tense forms, you can go to those videos. So if the sentence which contains the speech, the exact words of the speaker, has two different tenses, in reported speech, we have to reduce it to the same tense. That is another change which we require. Then in the speech where the exact words are there, the direct speech, there you require a comma in the beginning before you introduce the words of the speaker. So when you introduce inverted commas, you end the earlier part of the sentence with a comma. That is one part, and this is another part. We have learned phrases and clauses. So you can see that is one clause and this is one sentence. This is a separate clause and it is also a complete sentence. It may be 2, 3, 4 sentences also sometimes. But I'm going to show you only with one sentence because the rules are the same. Now let us see some examples. Suppose you have the verb outside the inverted comma in the present tense. Then the verb inside also may be in the present tense. You say that the speaker says, you put comma. The speaker says, S-A-Y-S. Speaker is singular, so you have to say says. And say is the verb here, but we are using the form the speaker says. Then you put a comma and you introduce the inverted commas at the top of the line. The inverted commas are there on your keyboard. You can check them and you will find that you can put single inverted commas or double inverted commas. The usual use of a direct speech sentence are double inverted commas. We use a single inverted comma usually to show something different. Then you have to understand that the ability to use the double or single inverted comma changes with usage. I will do all this in a video on punctuation, not today. So use double inverted commas after saying the speaker says, comma, and then you put inverted commas starting. You begin with the capital letter, although it's the middle of the sentence. But please don't do a small letter here. You begin with the capital letter. The speaker says, I will see you tomorrow. The speaker says, I will see you tomorrow. Now, will see is future, says is present. You have to remember that there are two different tense verbs here. I cannot be used in reported speech because only the speaker can use the word I. When you convert to reported speech, it is no longer the speaker who's speaking, but somebody is telling you, a reporter is telling you that it is being reported. So you change, I will see you tomorrow, full stop. It is a statement. You put a full stop, close inverted commas after the full stop. Many people have a doubt. Should the full stop go outside or should it be inside? Sentence is inside. Full stop applies to the sentence. So inverted commas come after the full stop. The speaker says, comma, begin inverted commas, capital I. I is always capital, of course, but otherwise also you put it as capital first word. I will see you tomorrow. Full stop, close inverted commas. Finish sentence. Now, how will you put it in reported speech? The speaker says, same. You cannot change what is outside. That the speaker says. Now, because you have to join two sentences together, you need a conjunction. And the conjunction which is used is that, T-H-A-T. That is a conjunction. We will do it when we are doing conjunctions. Next, I will take up conjunctions maybe 1 week later. Why I'm making one video of grammar per week is because I expect all of you to practice for 1 week. But I don't know how many of you are practicing the grammar exercises. So now you say that, the speaker says that now we don't know whether the speaker is man or woman. So if you know who the speaker is, you say, the speaker says that he, or the speaker says that she will becomes would, because I told you that in modal verbs will and would go together. So it becomes, the future, but not will. We cannot use will here. The speaker says that he would see, you also becomes him or her tomorrow. So here we have two, him or her. You and I cannot be used in reported speech because that is all in the third person. Now, suppose this was a question. The speaker says, will I see you tomorrow? Will I see you tomorrow? Question. You end with a question mark and then you end inverted commas. Then you say, the speaker says, you can't use the form speaker says here, although in the first one it is said, the speaker says, will I see you tomorrow? Now that says becomes the speaker asks, because we don't have question mark. In reported speech, question mark is not possible. So when you say reported speech sentence, then the speaker says becomes the speaker asks, would, the speaker asks whether, the conjunction now changes from that to whether. Whether also is a conjunction. W-H-E-T-H-E-R. We have another word also, weather, that means hot, cold, etc. W-E-A-T-H-E-R. But this is conjunction. W-H-E-T-H-E-R. So the speaker asks whether he would see him tomorrow. Full stop. No inverted commas, no comma, nothing. Straight sentence. The speaker asks whether he would see him tomorrow or he would see her tomorrow. That is how you put it. Now, you say, The speaker says, "How beautiful this scenery is!" Exclamation mark. How beautiful this scenery is an exclamatory sentence. So you say, the speaker exclaims that the scenery is beautiful. You reduce how beautiful the scenery is, exclamatory sentence, into an ordinary statement by saying, the speaker says. You cannot say says here, so you put exclaimed, because says does not tell us anything. Exclamation mark has to be removed. So you change the verb, like in the question you said asked, now you say exclaimed. The speaker exclaims, since we are saying says, or present tense, the speaker exclaims that this is a beautiful scenery. Put a full stop. This is where the verb outside the inverted commas is in the present tense. The verb outside the inverted commas in the direct speech sentence can be a past tense. Usually it is past tense. It can never be future tense because what people will say in future, we never know. So you cannot put a direct speech sentence by saying that such and such a person will say. That's not possible. We don't know what they will say. So only past and present are possible. Now I have given you the present form. I have given you three types of sentences: the statement, the question, and the exclamation. Now instead of this, suppose you had a past tense in the, uh, outside the inverted commas. You say that the actor said, "I will not act in this movie." The actor said, comma. Now said is S-A-I-D, past tense form. The actor said, "I will not act in this movie." You are getting negative. You put a full stop, you close inverted commas. Then you say, the actor said that, and conjunction that is needed. You remove the comma and put the conjunction. The actor said that he, depending on whether the actor is a man or a woman, because today we don't use the word actress. We use actor, gender neutral word for everybody. So you say that the actor said that she would not act, will becomes would. She would not act in this movie. And then you put a full stop. No inverted commas are there anywhere. Now here, if you have a past form there, the actor said, "I forgot the story." Now actor said is also past tense. I forgot also is past tense. So you're very happy. The entire form outside the inverted comma, inside the inverted comma, both of them are in the past. So no change of tense is required here, unlike all the other sentences I've used where you had to change the tense form. The verb had to be changed. So you say, the actor said that he forgot the story. You are replacing I with a third person pronoun. You forgot, you are saying exactly the same. The story remains the same. Inverted commas are removed, you put only a full stop. Now the actor said, "Do you know the story?" Now the actor is talking to somebody else and asking a question. Do you know the story? Now do and know, these are the verb forms. There you have to use the conjunction whether. The actor asked whether. Now if you are reporting, you will say whether I knew the story. Suppose you are the person who is reporting. Then, if you have two or three sentences, then I replied and so on, then you have to put it as I. The actor asked whether I knew the story. Full stop. No inverted commas, no comma, only full stop. Or you say, the actor asked him, suppose there's some other person. Now you have to say, put the object also. The actor asked him whether he knew the story. So know becomes knew, because know is not the correct tense form. Knew is the past form. So asked gets the form knew, K-N-E-W. So whether I knew the story, whether he knew the story, depending on how you are going to transform. The same thing applies, although we don't use many exclamatory sentences, but the rule applies to that also. So we have the word asked or questioned or inquired. These are verbs which are used instead of said. In a direct speech sentence, we can use said for everything. We don't need to look at the sentence type inside the inverted commas. It can be a question. Still, you can have the word said in front. But when you change it into reported speech, the exact format of the sentence inside the inverted commas determines the verb which you will use. So you can use, instead of asked, which I used often in all these sentences, you can use the verb as questioned. The actor questioned him whether he knew the story. The actor inquired of him. Inquire cannot take immediate object, so you say the actor inquired of him whether he knew the story. Whether is the conjunction which we use when we are connecting a question inside the inverted commas. The connecting link is that for a statement and whether for a question. That you have to remember. Now, I have given you question forms where we have used questions with verbs. So, all the verb questions we have used. Do you know, or will you come, etc. But suppose we have a question word. Suppose you say that the teacher asked, what is your name? So here you have already, verb is correct. But inside the verb is, what is your name? Is present tense, asked is past tense. So we have to change. The teacher asked him, no weather is required here. Now notice, where it is question word is a verb, there you used whether. Now you say, the teacher asked him, or the teacher asked her, what her name was. What, when, where, these are all conjunctions also. Please remember, they are not only interrogatives, but they are conjunctions. I gave you an entire video saying that these are the words with which you make questions. Words for questions and how to answer them. All these words which we use there are also conjunctions. When we learn about conjunctions, I'll tell you about them. So we have here no need for an extra conjunction. Already the interrogative can do the work, same work. So in the first sentence, it is a questioning word. In the second sentence, it is a joining word. So you say that the teacher asked her what her name was. Now see how the sentence has changed. What is your name? So what is your name becomes what her name was. That is the structure. No joining element required. The teacher asked her what her name was. The teacher asked the student what his name was or her name was. Because student also is a gender neutral word. We don't have student masculine, student feminine, different. So you see how this sentence changes. When the question is asked using a question word. The visitor asked, where is the market? The visitor asked, comma, inverted commas you put, where is the market? Question mark, close inverted commas after the question mark. Now you change it and you say, the visitor asked where the market was. Is becomes was, it goes to the end of the sentence, full stop is put there, and it is, where was the market? We don't say. That construction is wrong. So we have to say, the visitor asked where the market was. That is how the structure is. So when you have a question with a question word, then you have a different structure. When you have a question with a verb, then you have a different structure. A statement, there is no problem. In statement, there are only two things. One is that you might have a different form of the verb outside the inverted commas and a different tense inside. You have to make all the tenses of the same format in a reported speech sentence. A direct speech sentence has two separate clauses with two separate verbs in different tenses. This is not possible. In reported speech, we have two verbs. You have two verbs, they are joined with a conjunction, but since they are a single sentence, they are not two separate units, we have to follow the same tense. You must remember, while speaking or while writing also, a single tense should go throughout your speaking or writing. You must not make tense changes throughout, unless you are using direct speech in your speaking or writing. Suppose you love writing short stories, then you can have many tenses, but that is creative writing. But otherwise, in a report, etc., always the past is preferred. That is why we are using the reported speech here, the word reported. Report, a project report, a journalistic report. Many of you want to learn writing skills. So I'm trying to give you some videos on writing also. You improve all of them. So those of you who wanted a video on direct and indirect speech, transformation of direct speech sentences into reported speech sentences, or vice versa, you can do it, the other way round also. You can say that the man shouted that he needed help. So you say, the man shouted you can say, or you can say, the man said loudly, comma, begin inverted commas, I need help. You put an exclamation mark because shout is exclamation, and then you close inverted commas. Or you say that the man shouted that he needed help urgently. So you say, I need help. Needed becomes need. I need help urgently. The man shouted remains the same. Past tense remains past, but inside the inverted commas, the tense changes by, it becomes the present tense form. So in this way, it can be done both ways. If you find sentences which are with the exact words of the speaker, you can change them to reported speech. You have a reported speech sentence, you can change it to the form of the direct speech. These are usually used for grammar teaching. They are usually used for, making a person conscious of how English can be used. But in your regular speaking, etc., you don't need much of this. So if you are just learning English to speak well, please don't worry much about direct speech. You must worry about the reported speech, because reported speech is what you have to constantly use when you are speaking. You cannot keep quoting people, but you might make reference to what people said. You can say, Mahatma Gandhi said this, or you can say, Swami Vivekananda said this. Somebody asked what to read on Swami Vivekananda. I remember one of the comments. Please read his life. You get short life, 20 pages, 50 pages. Read his entire life, which is 2 volumes by Eastern and Western disciples. That is 500 pages, 1,000 pages. You can read so much. By reading this, you improve your English also. Not only know about Vivekananda, but improve your English. This is the benefit of reading. So I've given you some ideas of direct speech, which many of you have been asking. I hope the video is clear and you will be able to benefit from this video. Please watch and let me know what you think. Thank you and all the best.